Morning, guys. I'm going to play a video. I was going to watch this last night. I actually started to watch it. I'm a big fan of Miss Sam's. Yeah. Please subscribe to her channel. She's great. She cracks me up. She makes me laugh. The actual channel is called Celestial Tarot Readings with Miss Sam. Some of her views are quite out there. Yeah. Some of them are, um, at first you'll be probably quite shocked, quite surprised. But actually, when you really listen to her, she's pretty smart, pretty switched on. Yeah. Um, I'm blown away by just how on point she is with her different views. She definitely does a lot of research. She knows what she's talking about. Obviously, this is a big topic at the moment concerning the Bridget Cruz and Priscilla lawsuits. It's all been upgraded, amended. It's a 152-page document. There's loads of exhibits and evidence, and she's going to read out a letter, Riley Keough's letter. So this is big news at the moment. The world is like, what the hell's going on with Gracelands, with Riley, with Priscilla? Did Priscilla pull the plug? That's the headlines, even though it's about do not resuscitate. Everyone's talking about it. Suddenly people are they're questioning Priscilla. They're questioning everything. They're questioning even the Elvis Presley Enterprises deal that happened way back in when they sold off 85% of it. They're questioning all of that. They're even questioning the death of Elvis. This is how big this has become. Obviously, we talk with Bridget Cruz. So she phones me. We have long chats. This is mind-blowing. So I love the way that Miss Sam, she's had a very down-to-earth, matter-of-fact. She does swear a bit, she cuss, that's what I want to call it. She speaks her mind. She's very straight. She's very direct. I find her, I don't know what the right word is, but you really listen. Yeah. It might take a few minutes to sort of get on board with it, but once you understand where she's coming from, it's pretty addictive. Please subscribe. Celestial Tarot Readings with Miss Sam. We're going to review it, so we're going to have to stop and start it. We have to conform with YouTube copyright rules. We must stop, start, and add our commentary in the middle. Okay, guys? Enjoy it. I think you're going to find it fascinating.
Hi, how are you? So I wanted to do a reading, and I wanted to read Riley's letter in full, okay? Because most of the last video that I did on Priscilla Presley and the allegations that we've all been making about her, quite frankly.
As she says, the allegations we've all been making about. She has been predicting a lot of this, what she's about to discuss, for years. Miss Sam has predicted all of this. I'm not into tarot card reading. It's not my thing. But guys, she's fascinating. Yeah. I'm only going to be able to do I'm going to probably have to do this in 2 or 3 parts because it's early in the morning. So once the kids wake up, I'll have to stop and we'll come back. We'll do another part. So this is part 1. We'll probably do about 10 minutes.
In regards to how she hastened the death of Elvis Presley, okay? Now, I just want you to bear in mind that we are talking about an icon, okay?
Don't forget your butter coffee, guys. Butter coffee, you electrically blend butter into your coffee and it tastes creamy and smooth.
Elvis Aaron Presley and his ex-wife, who was divorced from him for 6 years. She put a lien on his house. As you know, the house is Graceland.
So a debt went on Gracelands. This is what I think Priscilla's lawyers did. I think we've proved it with documentation that on the second divorce settlement, which she was not entitled to, she had to almost accuse Elvis of fraud, so they would allow a second divorce settlement. He said she would never go back for more money after the first divorce settlement, but she did. She broke the agreement. So there's a lot of greed here, a lot of money grabbing from Priscilla Presley, allegedly. Everything we say is an opinion just for entertainment purposes, not facts. We're just having a discussion on YouTube.
And not only that, she caused a lot of undue pressure on the guy by trying to go for him and attack him financially again and again and again after their divorce. Okay, now
She did. She did.
she had a daughter for him, and he looked after the daughter very, very well, took care of all of her financial needs, but nothing was ever.
I'm going to keep stopping and starting because every time she says something, it means a lot. He really did take care of Priscilla and Lisa. He was always, Elvis was so generous. He was always going to give them whatever they wanted, no matter how much it cost. He was very, very generous. Priscilla didn't have to do this horrific second divorce settlement that literally completely ripped him off. She didn't have to because Elvis was always going to give her anything she wanted.
Enough for Priscilla. Well, how do we know that? We know that because the daughter, Lisa Marie Presley, is now deceased, and she died because her mother, Priscilla, to use a colloquial term, pulled the plug on her, which means that she basically told the hospital after Lisa Marie had a cardiac arrest and was given a pacemaker, she told the hospital not to resuscitate Lisa.
Right. So obviously this is big news. Yeah. Bridget Cruz has put in her evidence. She can prove that Bridget, pulled the plug. Basically, do not resuscitate. Okay. So we can't say it's true. Can't say it happened. We can just say this is part of Bridget Cruz's lawsuit. Bridget has told me she can prove everything she has said.
Okay. And that went against Lisa's wishes that her life must be prolonged, and Priscilla did the opposite. She told the hospital to end Lisa's life, not to resuscitate her, to end her life.
So I think this is truthful. I think, allegedly, not definite. There's been 28 pages released from the book, Softly as I Leave You, and she sort of does say in that that decision was made, to do not resuscitate. Okay, so obviously it's not the actual book. Okay, please comment, guys, if you know any more. Please comment. But I don't think we're 100% that Priscilla was the one person that made that decision. I think we need to know more. We need to know the involvement of Riley before we can 100% say that. So we have to say this is alleged.
Mind you, Lisa's daughter Riley, Danielle Keogh, was on her way to the hospital and hadn't arrived yet. This is the letter that Riley wrote to her grandmother a few days after Lisa Marie died. Okay?
So we get a much better picture here. Yeah. So the letter's going to describe the true relationship, friendship, that granddaughter, grandmother. This is more of an honest way of putting it. I do think that for the public, I do think Riley has always tried to put on a friendly face. She's trying to publicly act like everything's fine between me and my grandmother, Priscilla Presley. Obviously, don't forget Priscilla Presley, she's almost iconic, extremely famous, and she's always managed to get away with portraying herself as Elvis's wife. Elvis's, that Elvis is the love of her life, that she still loves him. It's all bullshit, guys. Don't fall for it. They divorced 4 years before he died. She was unfaithful many times. Yeah. So no, she was never his widow. They had divorced. She demanded the divorce. She was up to no good. Yeah. So be very careful, guys. The people that have been conned and tricked into this fake fairy tale, yeah, of this book that Paul Priscilla, the victim who did nothing wrong, and Elvis was the bad guy. It's bullshit. It's total bullshit. It's exactly why we run a Defending Elvis channel, because the way Elvis is portrayed is so unfair.
Riley Keogh's emotional personal letter to hurtful grandma Priscilla Presley revealed amid lawsuit. I have protected you.
Right, so she's starting to read it, okay? So this is more nearer the truth, not the Priscilla and Riley in public looking like they're best friends.
Riley, okay? The legal battle between Priscilla Presley and her former associates began in July last year. Okay? Just in case you don't know which Priscilla we're talking about and which Riley we're talking about, here is a photo of them here, pretending to be happy families after Lisa died. What you need to know. Okay, I'm just reading this article here from Yahoo News. It's very, very important that we cover this before we move on. Riley Keough allegedly told Priscilla Presley that she protected her from Lisa Marie Presley's threats of a lawsuit, according to a new amended complaint. Keough wrote that Lisa Marie wanted to sue Priscilla again shortly before her death in January 2023.
This is big news, guys. This is big news. Lisa wanted to sue her own mother again. Yeah? There's a history here. It seems that they didn't even like each other, and that there was some serious wrongdoing from Priscilla towards her own daughter.
The filing also alleges that Priscilla manipulated Keough with claims that she loved her and they needed to be a family. Riley Keough's emotional letter to her grandmother Priscilla Presley has been made public in an amended lawsuit submitted this week in Los Angeles Superior Court and obtained by People magazine.
So guys, we do have the amended lawsuit, and we've got all the exhibits, evidence, all that. We're going to start touching on it a bit. It's not my thing. I'd rather Presley Mania do it, and then we can listen to her go through it. There'll be other YouTube channels that go through it. I'd rather just let them read it out than sit here droning through hundreds of pages. I just won't enjoy it. Okay, guys, we are going to go through it.
The filing, brought by Presley's former business partners Brigitte Krause and Kevin Fiacco, accuses Presley, age 80, of fraud in the inducement, breach of contract, conversion or coercion, misappropriation of name and likeness, and intentional interference with contract and prospective economic advantage. It includes dozens of exhibits, including a personal message that Keough, age 36, allegedly sent to her grandmother after Lisa Marie Presley's death in January 2023. Quote, "Unfortunately, Nona, as you are taking me to court, I am being forced to defend my mother's wishes legally and publicly, which would not have been my choice," Keough wrote, according to the filing. "It is really hurtful that after years of me trying to resolve your and my mother's broken relationship and restore our family, you are taking me, of all people, to court."
So yeah, remember, as you'll see as it comes up later, within 24 hours of Lisa Marie dying, Priscilla was pushing for court action. Obviously, Riley can't believe that her own grandmother is doing this. This is like, oh my God, I've just lost my mum. Yeah, what are you doing? Yeah.
This is Riley and Lisa. It's a bit blurry. That's my fault. The letter also describes Lisa Marie's intent to pursue legal action against her mother before her death. "I have protected you from lawsuits from my mother, often advocating for you, and always tried to keep everyone operating out of love," the letter reads.
So even this is very eye-opening, yeah? So we're starting to understand more about Riley's position. I really do think Riley is trying to keep everyone happy. I have protected you. So it's almost like she was a middle person between Lisa and Priscilla to try and somehow keep the peace. Now, as fans, we're concerned. Now, I fully support Riley, yeah? As Elvis's granddaughter, as Lisa's daughter. Of course I do, yeah? But, we have to, it's a bit like looking after a family member. if they do things that we're a bit uncomfortable with or not sure about or we have views about. It doesn't mean we don't love them, but we have opinions. So it concerns me that Riley didn't really want the world to know what was going on such serious matters. Yeah. Now, many will say, well, it's none of your business, you know, they're not your family, blah, blah, blah. I accept that. But we all love Lisa. We miss her, we adore her. We all fell in love with Lisa as we were all growing up. We all grew up with Lisa. Many of us are in our 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, even 90s. We grew up alongside Lisa, Elvis's beautiful daughter. And as she became a teenager, an adult, through her marriages, through her life, through her different things that she did. So we feel protective towards Lisa. So from that point of view, from us trying to protect Lisa, we're interested in what Riley was trying to do here, trying to play the middle person with her mum and with Priscilla.
Even a few weeks before my mother passed, she wanted to sue you again, and you called me for help. See? Priscilla called Riley to intervene between her and Lisa, to persuade Lisa not to sue her.
Very interesting. See, so Priscilla called Riley to try and stop her suing her. Lisa was going to sue her own mother.
I advised her so strongly against it, which resulted in a fight between me and her. See?
So basically, Riley was arguing with her mum because she was trying to prevent a lawsuit. Yeah? So this is serious stuff, guys.
But as you know, she chose to listen to me and not sue you.
So Riley actually did convince Lisa not to sue her own mother. Don't forget, if Lisa had sued her own mother, this would have gone around the world. This would have exposed, really, this fake front, this public front of that Priscilla and Lisa were fine. You know, at the Golden Globe Awards, guys, they clearly didn't like each other. They didn't even arrive together. Yeah. So it's well known that they didn't speak for 8 years concerning Barry Siegel, how he ripped off Lisa Marie, he was her manager, and how Priscilla stayed friends with him. Yeah. Priscilla may have been involved in how Lisa got ripped off. And there's a bigger picture now with the selling of Elvis Presley Enterprises. Right? Get it, guys? This is going to be big.
So this is telling you about the dynamics. It's beginning to rain.
I'll send you some money for that shampoo. How much is it? Okay, I'll send it you. Right, there you go.
Yeah, because this is very, very emotional. That's why the rain has come down hard.
Does anyone actually know where she is? Because I'd love to know where she is.
But as you know, she chose to listen to me and not you. Meanwhile, the lawsuit filed against Presley alleges that the actress ignored her granddaughter Riley's pleas, manipulating her with claims that she loved her and they needed to be a family. In Keogh's letter to Presley, she criticized how quickly the battle over Lisa Marie's estate erupted following her sudden death at age 54. Hold on. In Keogh's letter to Presley, she criticized how quickly the battle over Lisa Marie's estate erupted following her sudden death at age 54. Quote, I found being called about the will less than 24 hours after my mother passed and getting emails from lawyers before my mother was even buried incredibly heartbreaking.
Of course. It was like, it makes no sense. Look, we're very concerned about Priscilla, her grieving process, how she has carried on with her life as if nothing has changed. And yeah, of course you don't. You've just lost your daughter, who had 3 grandkids. You know, Lisa had 3 children. Yeah, Riley, Finney, and Hart. And you're there messaging your lawyer to try and take control of everything, to try and go against the amendment. Priscilla will say that she didn't know about the amendment. She knew. We've proved it. She knew. We've got solicitors' letters with power of attorney, where she knew that Lisa did not want her on the trust, on the definitely to have no access to the insurance policy. So it's shocking, guys. You know, what is Priscilla up to? What has she done in the past for money, for power, for gain? She seems to be hell bent on money. Money seems to come first before her own family, before Elvis, before her daughter, before her grandkids. She eventually gets a settlement of money that is her grandkids' money. It's not her money. Yeah, she was there. She was appointed co-trustee on behalf of Lisa Marie. She wasn't appointed the owner. So the way that she has benefited financially for the last 40 odd years is unbelievable. Unbelievable. She was supposed to be looking out for Lisa Marie's interests, not grabbing all the money and selling off EPE and renting Gracelands. Gracelands was rented to Elvis Presley Enterprises. She sold the name Presley. I think that included the name Gracelands. All of it is shocking. All of it.
Kyo told her grandmother, as I say, end quote. The message, labelled Exhibit 36, is presented as evidence that Lisa Marie was preparing litigation against Priscilla shortly before her death, and that Kyo personally intervened to prevent it. I wonder if they're going to call Riley as a witness, because Riley don't like to talk about family business.
I agree. Riley has got this thing where obviously the face of Gracelands, the face of Elvis Presley Enterprises. Don't forget, she still has 15% of Elvis Presley Enterprises. She does own the building, Gracelands, and all the museum artifacts. Yeah, but it is rented, and Elvis Presley Enterprises, 85%, have controlling interests of the living museum. Okay, guys.
So, but she may be required to speak and talk about.
Well, it hasn't gone to trial yet. It looks like it may. I think there's also a strong chance the whole thing will be settled. You know what it's like. It's a money thing, isn't it? There's obviously a lot of emotion involved. Yeah. Bridget does really feel that she tried to help Priscilla and her family. Bridget became close with the family. She was one of the family. Yeah. So when Priscilla turned on her, completely changed her mind about everything, Bridget was in shock. Yeah. So eventually, as they pick up the pieces, Bridget obviously makes a decision. She feels that she needs to be compensated because she's invested hundreds of thousands of pounds into the Priscilla brand, name, image, and likeness, into saving Priscilla, who was in financial difficulty, and so many other things. Literally thousands and thousands of hours of time, of effort with her partner Kevin Fialco to try and save Priscilla's ass. Yeah, to try and create an income for Priscilla, who was in deep trouble financially. Yeah, so they're not at the trial yet, but I agree. If this goes to trial, there's a possibility Riley Keough will be a witness.
Talk about her grandmother and her grandmother's manipulation in regards to Graceland and the estate, and also in regards to what Lisa had planned and the history between Lisa and Priscilla, and see how similar that is. You know, the fact that Priscilla diddled Lisa out of millions.
I think, and she did, guys. You know, I have to say it's alleged, just an opinion, but she did, guys. Priscilla, Barry Siegel, even the deal that was done way back in 2005, a massive amount of money changes hands. We're told that Priscilla got $6.5 million for the Presley name. Well, now it's coming out that it might have been 13 million that she got. Remember, she didn't own it. She was there on behalf of her daughter. she was paying herself a massive salary. All of this money didn't belong to Priscilla, it belonged to Lisa. Eventually would go on to be Lisa's children. So, and it does seem now that all through the years, that every deal that has been done, allegedly, for entertainment purposes, just an opinion, not a fact. Priscilla has always put herself first. Right, what can I get out of this? How much can I make from this? Doesn't matter what it is, whether it's appearances or supporting different things concerning Elvis. It's always been about, right, how much of that can I put in my pocket? Where it should have been, how much of it can go into Lisa's pocket? When Lisa was gone, then automatically everything becomes Lisa's children's. Priscilla tried to prevent that. She tried to stop it becoming the kids. She wanted it all for herself. She wanted to be the queen of Graceland. Unbelievable. Completely shocking. Unbelievable. Disgusting behaviour.
It's the same thing she's doing to Brigitte now. So that's Exhibit 36. Krause and Fiacco also allege in the amended complaint that they sprang into action to prevent Priscilla's financial ruin and public embarrassment. The filing further describes Priscilla as a calculated sociopath and master of deception who has lived off of and exploited the Presley name for her own personal gain.
The thing is, I have to agree with all of that. It's, I will say this about Bridget Cruz. I know some people are a bit upset with her, the stuff that she got involved with before they fell out. I get it, business women trying to make money. But I do feel that when I talk to Bridget, I do get the feeling that she was just trying to help her. Priscilla was her friend. They had become very close. The families were mixing, Bridget really did care. Now, I have to accept that when you put your business head on, your money-making head on, there is a blurring of lines, yeah? So we as fans are concerned about how Bridget helped Priscilla when they were negotiating with Riley to do with the movie, Priscilla movie, and many other things. So I have to, as an Elvis fan, I have to put that first. But I will say this, Bridget isn't the bad guy here. Bridget isn't the bad, evil person here. I do think she got in over her head with Priscilla. I think Priscilla showed a side to Bridget that was very trusting and loving and caring. And I think Bridget got caught up in that. I also think Bridget put her on a bit of a pedestal. It's Priscilla, I think she meant well. I think Bridget meant well. It was, win-win, let's all make money. I can save you, I can help you, I can completely turn around your career, generate income. I get all that, yeah? But I also think Bridget was also trying to get things right with Riley, get things right for the family. But, from her point of view, from Bridget's point of view as well. So she's a businesswoman. We must remember she is a businesswoman. Yeah. For Priscilla to give Bridget full power of attorney. I do think there were big things coming. So once they became proper business partners, signed many contracts, there were things ahead coming. Big things. Yeah. This was going to be the beginning of something. But obviously, as soon as Priscilla changes her mind, she literally ghosted her, changed her mind, acted like, is now saying that she's been completely ripped off by Bridget and Kevin Fialco and the associates, that she's been conned and all the rest of it. I don't think so. I think Priscilla just changed her mind. I think Bridget put in thousands and thousands of hours and investment, money, hundreds of thousands of pounds of investment to help Priscilla, and then this beautiful side of Priscilla that Bridget trusted, saw as a close friend, loved her. We then see a very dark side of Priscilla, a businesswoman, a very cruel, cunning, greedy, conniving person, Priscilla. And then everything changes. Now, this happened with Elvis. Honestly, guys, it's my opinion. This happened with Elvis. Elvis was duped Just go and read the book Child Bride. It gives you an idea. Elvis was duped into really trusting Priscilla, really thinking she was sweet and innocent and that he had found the one. And he eventually, in the worst kind of way, finds out that Priscilla has a very different side, not sweet and innocent, a very greedy side, a side to her that wants fame, money, fortune, power, jealous of Elvis. I would say Priscilla was jealous of Elvis. Priscilla wanted to be Elvis. I don't know when it happened. I don't know what age, whether it was just before the marriage, after the marriage, whether it happened as soon as she moves over to Gracelands when she's nearly 18. Don't forget, they were nearly 22. She was nearly 22 when they got married. Yeah. Obviously, the world is tricked into thinking that Elvis married a 14-year-old. No, he didn't. She was nearly 22. When she moved over to Gracelands, she was nearly 18. Elvis hadn't seen her for 2.5 years. Yeah. So the world's being tricked and conned into believing all the negative bullshit. Yeah. Priscilla goes along with that con. Yeah. Please don't fall for the bullshit on here. Please don't fall for the bullshit in the old interviews. If you look at the interviews through the 80s, they really do trash Elvis. Priscilla does some serious damage to Elvis's image, reputation, and legacy. The whole world doesn't know the real Elvis. That's why we run a channel called Defending Elvis. The world has been conned about Elvis. Elvis was a beautiful man, inside and out. Elvis didn't do any of the things that he's accused of. His image and reputation has been completely warped. Even with the situation with unfaithfulness, there's much more to it. Elvis wasn't perfect. He made mistakes. He succumbed to temptation. He was a human being. But there's much more to it. You have to understand why Elvis would look elsewhere for a female partner. What was Priscilla doing? Priscilla has admitted to being unfaithful many times. Remember, she demanded a divorce after secretly seeing Mike Stone for a year, who was married, had a pregnant wife and a small girl. Priscilla chatted him up. Priscilla made a beeline for him. Mike Stone has admitted this in interviews. So she broke up 2 families. Priscilla broke up 2 families, yeah, and then forced Lisa Marie to live with a complete stranger, Mike Stone. Lisa Marie was literally dragged away from her father, Elvis, and Gracelands, and other homes. They had other homes to live with a stranger, Mike Stone, this giant karate champion. Could you imagine how that made her feel? She's 4 years old. She's dragged away from her father. Could you imagine waking up to a complete stranger? Priscilla did this. So Priscilla was unfaithful many times. Everything is blamed on Elvis. Everything is Elvis's fault. It's not true, guys. Don't fall for it. Elvis was a good man, a decent man. When he started looking elsewhere at different women, there was always a reason. There was always how he was being treated by the girl that he was seeing. Everybody acts as if Elvis was just running around trying to shag everything, sleep with everything. It wasn't like that, guys. There was much more to it. Elvis was a very smart man, a very Christian, caring man. Yeah. So you have to read between the lines to understand the truth. You have to ignore the books. Don't pick up a book and read it word for word and think, oh, it must be true. A lot of what is said in books has been twisted and is bullshit. There is resentment, anger, bitterness, hate, jealousy within these books. Yeah? There's an agenda. There's a brainwashing agenda within these books, within the documentaries, within the biographies, within the interviews that Priscilla gave through the 80s. Don't trust the interviews through the 80s. She's lying. She's twisting the truth. She's using the interviewers to do the damage because the interviewers will ask the seedy questions. Oh, you were only 14. You married him when you were 15. None of it true. But Priscilla will sit there looking very beautiful, looking stunning, and just nod her head with a big smile on her face. The interviewer on the news program has done the damage. She knows wherever she goes, the interviewers will ask these sick questions that are not true, not correct, that twist the truth, that almost trick the public into believing the lies. Priscilla plays a very clever game. as these people play into her hands and never challenge her. These people don't challenge Priscilla. For 40 to 50 years, they have kissed her ass and gone along with the lies, and the whole world has been duped. The world do not know the true Elvis. The world does not know the true Elvis. Priscilla has scammed the world for nearly 50 years, and now finally it's all coming out. We're all starting to see the cracks. When she went against her daughter's will, the amendment, and now with the Bridget Cruz lawsuit, the alleged unplugging of Lisa, the truth now is starting to come out. We're even now starting to understand the dynamics between Riley, Lisa, and Priscilla. A different story than what we were told. Okay, guys, gotta go. This is just part 1. We're going to do part 2 soon. I'm going to post this now live so we can comment together. Thanks, guys. Hope you found this interesting. Thanks, Miss Sams. You're amazing. Miss Sams, you're amazing. 10 out of 10.